Professional motivational speaker Carl Jones, whether in business or in personal life, will show you how to gain growth through understanding yourself and building relationships. Here's Carl.
We're going to talk about teamwork, but most importantly, we're going to talk about being a team player. And I was thinking about how I was going to talk about this and what I was going to talk about, and I didn't want to do the usual team building stuff and run you guys through an activity that nobody pays attention to while we're doing it anyway. So I wanted to do something that really had meaning, and maybe you would get something out of it today. So I really wanted to talk more about the mindset of teamwork, the emotions of teamwork, and things of that nature, rather than the actual activities and different things like that. So I did print out, I'm going to read this to you, Webster's New World Dictionary definition of teamwork: a joint action by a group of people in which each person subordinates his or her individual interests and opinions to the unity and efficiency of the group. What does being a team player mean? Nowhere in that definition does it say that you have to love the person that is on your team. Nowhere in that definition does that say that you have to be best friends with the person that is on your team. Okay, and for anybody that's listened to my ramblings over the years, I've mentioned several times about friendship in the office, okay, and how there's a difference between somebody that's a coworker that's a friend of yours and somebody that was a friend maybe that you grew up with. And because we spend so much time together, working together, and there's people in this office I see more than people in my own family, my own kids and things like that. So it's natural to start building some type of a relationship. But the problem comes up sometimes that we superimpose our idea of friendship over that relationship, of how a person is supposed to act. Being a team player on its deepest level is managing your emotions and translating them into effective communication with the group. I'll say that again because I think it's very important. Being a team player is being able to manage your emotions and translate them into being an effective communicator with the people that you work with, okay? Now, when I speak on relationships, I speak about three key points. And this is a relationship. We all have a relationship here. And you basically have a relationship with everybody in life that you meet. And life is relationship. It's about relationships. So if you understand that, and you understand that person, the type of relationship that you have with that person, maybe it would be easier for you to have the relationship. But the three key things that I talk about when I speak of relationships is the foundation of relationship, which you've probably heard your whole life, is communication. Okay, good communication. Having good communication with the person or the group of people that you're working with. Now, that doesn't mean speaking. Obviously, when we think of communication, we think speaking, okay, that you have, and that's a part of communication, and you should, do that and have good communication. I talk about listening to people when they talk, so you're really hearing them. It's human nature. I am speaking right now, and there's 2, 4, 6, 8 people here, and I guarantee you that out of that 8, probably, I'm not going to give a number, your mind has drifted off into other things. You're thinking of something, maybe business, maybe family, or different things like that, that your mind is drifting off. It's human nature to do that. You're not going to pay 100% attention to me when I speak, although you should. But in communicating, you want to do that. You want to try to mentally make yourself pay attention to what the person is saying and listen with a sincere and open and honest heart to what they're saying. Because you want that. You want to have that when they're speaking to you. You want to be careful about what you say, okay? Whether you're saying it to them directly or indirectly to somebody else. You want to be careful how you... The mindset of your relationship in the group is expectations. The expectations of what you expect out of the relationship, what you are expecting from the group, what is expected of yourself. Because you got to remember, in any type of relationship, whether it's work or whether it's at home or whether it's with friends, there's another person that's involved. In this case, it's a group of people that are involved in the relationship. And everybody has different expectations and wants and desires and needs and things like that. So you have to take that into account when you're thinking, why is this person not doing this for me? Why are they saying that? Or what? You know what? Everybody has different expectations about what is going to be accomplished and everything. And not everybody is good at verbalizing those expectations, maybe as you think that you are. Okay? And then attitude. Attitude is what I call in a relationship is being selfless. It's the attitude that you use in the relationship, the selflessness of what you're doing. You know, thinking of the group's needs first, or the other person's needs first in an individual relationship. You know, because in a team atmosphere, you know, we're a sports-driven nation. We all have different, even if you don't really like sports, everybody has some team or something like that. And, you know, we could go right down the line of championship teams. The Green Bay Packers unfortunately defeated our Steelers in the Super Bowl last January. Do you think everybody on the Green Bay Packers is best friends and they all love each other? Do you think the Penguins or the Steelers, you think everybody on that team is best friends and they all love each other? No. No, but they put things aside about themselves for the better of the team. That's what being a team player is. It's putting aside things within yourself that are manage conflict capably. Manage conflict capably. You know, there's a process. There's a process for doing that. If there's some problem within the office or with a couple people or with two people within the office or anything like that, and there's a process for managing that conflict. First of all, you have to want to. What if you have a coworker who doesn't want to be a team player, who doesn't want to settle the conflict? What do you do then? I'm going to share a story with you. This is going back a while, and I was a counselor at a youth camp, kind of like a YMCA youth camp. This was many years ago. There was a young fella there. His name was Butch. I never knew Butch before this camp, and to tell you the truth, I've never seen him ever since that camp. Spent 5 days with him, and I'll remember him for the rest of my life. You see, this group, the group of kids they were around 5th, 6th, 7th graders. Butch was one of the older ones in the group, and he was a little bit more grown than the others, so he was bigger than most of the other kids. And Butch was the bully of the camp. And Butch was the instigator and the agitator of the camp. Hands down. Nobody else was even close. And he enjoyed that very much. And he enjoyed making trouble and making problems. And my guess is his parents, you know, sent him to this camp to get him out of their hair for a week. You know, and we had teams. Each cabin was a different team, and there was contests and different things like that. You know, and whatever Butch could do to make a problem for any activity we were having or anything that we were doing, Butch would do. You know, and he was definitely not a team player. Every evening we'd have a rally at the end of the day, you know, and all the teams would get together and we'd tally up our scores and everything from the points from all the activities that we do, and everybody would be in a big hall, and it'd be a lot of fun, and you know, everybody would be cheering and doing different things like that. And Butch would be causing trouble, and he'd be yelling stuff and everything like that. And through the whole week, we were just, you know, wondering why the head counselor, why don't you get rid of him? You know, why don't you throw him out? You know, he's causing problems. He's making problems for the other kids. He's picking on the other kids. Okay, can't you get rid of him? And the head counselor, no, we're not throwing him out. You know, we're not throwing him out. So it was like the Thursday night, the second to the last day there, or Thursday evening, we're there, we're having a rally, and Butch is particularly bad this evening, causing problems and causing trouble and things like that. And the head counselor calls him up to the front of this big hall of all these people, and we're figuring, yeah, finally Butch is going to get it. He's going to throw him out of this. He's going to throw him out of this place. And Butch comes up, and this guy puts his arms around him and starts hugging him. And he says, "You know what, Butch? I love you." And Butch is frightened and trying to get away from him, you know, pushing away, because he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy. And this head counselor just kept holding him and hugging him. He said, "I don't care, I'm not letting you go because I love you." And they struggled there for what sometimes seems like an eternity, but was probably about 10 or 20 seconds. And Butch started to cry. And he broke down right there. And the most amazing transformation that I have ever seen happened that evening. And Butch, we only had one more day of him. I only wish that the counselor had done it on Monday. Okay? But Butch probably wasn't ready for it yet then. But I don't know what problems Butch had in his life. I don't know how he was raised, but it was obvious from that moment that nobody had really told him that they loved him. And nobody probably had put their arms around him and said, "I'm holding you and I'm loving you until you understand that I really mean it." And to see that kid, after what we'd experienced for 4 days, just break down and start crying. And that boy was an angel the next day. It was just unbelievable to me. Now, am I saying that if you're having problems with someone who's a coworker, to hug them and tell them you love them? I'm not saying that. Okay? But that head counselor, that head counselor had the mindset of, I'm going to help this person. Yeah, I could do what the crowd would do, and I could just write them off, and I could throw them out, and I could tell them to get out. You know what? But he had a mindset of, I see something in that person, because you don't know what that person's going through in their lives. You don't know what happened. You don't know what happened yesterday. You don't know what happened this morning or last week. You don't know what worries or problems or things that's going on in their family that's happening, because I got news for you. We all have issues. We all have issues and problems in our lives. We all have things that we have to deal with. Just some people are a lot better at hiding them than others are. Some people wear them on their sleeves, and some people you never know that it's going wrong. But we all have issues and problems in our life. That's life. That's what life is. It's about overcoming problems and issues and things like that. And here was an opportunity, and that counselor wanted, that, like I said, that happened a long time ago, and that will stick with me for the rest of my life. So the next time you're having conflict with somebody, and you don't want to put your arms around them, hug them, and tell them you love them, just think, what can I do? What kind act? What can I give? What selfless thing can I do that will help that person maybe out? Maybe, you know, like you said, you don't know what happened. You don't know what's going on in their mind. You don't know what fears, what self-esteem issues, or different things like that they may have been going through their whole lives. Okay? And if you can do that, you'll be great in any relationship, whether it's with coworkers and being a team player, whether it's at home, whether it's with friends, social occasions. In conclusion, communicate constructively. Communicate constructively. Listen actively. Don't let your mind wander off there. Listen actively. Share openly and willingly, okay, with an honest and sincere heart. Be flexible. Be flexible in what you're doing. Be ready to adjust to things. Also, be respectful and supportive of your coworkers.